Hello everyone. So in this today's video session, we are going to discuss about the first module of your web technology and its application. So we already discussed about basics of web application development, and I already posted that video in your Google Classroom, and then I shared the YouTube link. I hope you all watched that video. Okay, so from today's videos onwards, we start with the first module, first chapter. So first we see the textbook. So this one is your textbook referred by your syllabus. They mentioned in your syllabus. So fundamentals of web development, written by Randy Connolly and Richard Hoare. Okay, this one is available in your library. Only I think 4 to 5 books are available. So if it is there, come and get that books. Okay, so if it is not there, don't worry, I have soft copy. So I set that soft copy of this textbook and share to you. So if you want to take printouts, then you can take the printout of that soft copy textbook. Okay, otherwise don't worry, I will give you notes. Okay, if you refer my notes, then it's more than enough uh, to write it in exam to and to face that exam. Okay, don't worry about textbook and all. Okay, so next we start with first module. So first module of your web application development is introduction to HTML. Okay, you already know, and I hope you all did your mini projects in fifth sem. Okay, most of you all did your mini project in web application development, database management mini project. You did in database. You did in web application. So by creating web application front end user design, so you already know and then aware about this HTML, CSS and all, I hope. Okay, if you don't know, don't worry. So now we will start discussed about that HTML. Okay, and then we are start learning. So better you keep one notes and then you make a note of these things. Okay, so first module is introduction to HTML. So first we have to know about what is this HTML. Okay, and then we have to learn some brief thing about where did it come from, means that history of this HTML. So in this chapter, means in this first concept, we discussed about the history of HTML and what is this HTML. So HTML, you already know, I think HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. So you people will already know that what is that HTTP. HTTP you already know, right? So that HTTP is what? It's a protocol. It's a protocol to share the information between the user and the server. Means your user system to server system for sharing the information. Means from user to server, it will send the information and then it will get the response. You already studying now in sorry, you studied already in fifth semester in the networks, HTTP request and response. So that HTTP is what? Hypertext transport protocol. So here also we have hypertext markup language. So here the hypertext is same. Okay, then what do you know about that hypertext? So that hypertext is nothing but the text, or whatever the information we want to send, that information we are sending in the form of text format. We are sending that information through web in the sense through online or through your internet. We are sending that information and then exchange that information globally. Okay, globally. So in HTTP it will transfer protocol for transferring the information, but in HTML markup language, it's a language. It's a language, so that helps to transfer that information to the entire globe through your internet or through your web applications. So that thing we called as hypertext markup language. So here you see the definition. Here you can see, to publish the information for global distribution, one needs a universal understood language, a kind of publishing mother tongue that all components may potentially understand. The publishing language used by the World Wide Web is HTML. Means if you want to publish any information globally, so that can be understood by uh, anyone who have the knowledge of your computer application interaction, computer interaction knowledge, then everyone understood that language, and then it can be published through their mother tongue. Okay, you can also see some of the web applications in some of the websites. So you can switch from Kannada to English. The best example is your video website. If you go to vtu.ac.in, so you can see both the version, Kannada and as well as English. You can switch from Kannada to English, English to Kannada. So that one we can translate. That one we can translate. So that type of language, if you want to switch from one country language to another country language, and then you can share the information in their mother tongue. That too they can publish worldwide. Worldwide means in the globe, anywhere it can available. So that type of information sharing, for sharing that type of information, we need a one language called HTML. That HTML is a way of sharing the information in their mother tongue or in their local languages. So here hypertext is nothing but this is the meaning of hypertext. Hypertext, that text information we are sharing globally. How they need it means how, in the sense in which language they are needed. Okay, markup language, why we call that one as markup language means that informations how we are going to represent. So that information we represented within a tag. Within a tag, here you see, you can see the tag open angular braces and then closing angular braces is there. In the middle you enter the information. So in the middle you can enter the in what way you are going to represent that information. So that which are the different ways we can represent the information, for that which tag we are going to use, that we discussed in next sessions. But now we have to know about what is that hypertext markup language. And then this HTML and CSS and JavaScript, so PHP, what we discussed in your entire syllabus. So entire syllabus, this called as scripting languages. This one is not programming languages. This we called as scripting languages. Why? Because these languages we represented in the form of tag formats, in the form of tag. Here I showing, right, tag. This one we call as tag. So you already aware about head HTML, head body, heading tags h1, h2. So that tags we are represent the information in the form of tags. So that's why we call that one as scripting language, just like a script, step by step how you are going to write a scripts. So like that here also this one is scripting language. This one is not a programming language. The major difference between this scripting and then programming language means, so in programming language, if you want to execute that programming languages, you can't execute without installing any software. Without installing any software, you can't execute. If you want to execute C programming, so you need to install Turbo C or Turbo C++. For Java, you need to install JDK and then you need Eclipse, okay, or NetBeans. Through that, you can execute the program. But these scripting languages, you can execute without installing any software. You need only one thing, that is browser. So if you have just browsers, any browser, you can use Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Safari, okay, and then Internet Explorer. So you have different types of browsers in that you can execute that web applications. Okay, no need of any softwares. Okay, and the next thing is, the major thing is, you can do offline browsing. Okay, offline browsing. If you want to open browser, if your browser needs to open, in a sense you need internet. Without internet, can we open our browsers? No, you can't open your browser. So if you want to open your browser, you need internet, but you can run this HTML code without need of internet. Without switch on your internet, you can run the HTML, that is offline browsing. So I hope you all understand what is this HTML. HTML is, we are going to share the information or publish the information globally, that can be understand universally in their mother tongue. Okay, so through entire world, through internet, for sharing information through internet is called HTML. Is not is called through by using the process, by using HTML. A markup language is A way of annotation a document is such a way to make the annotation distinct from the text being annotated. Markup languages such as HTML, TX, XML. So these are the different types of markup language. Along with HTML, we have XML, TEX, XHTML. Allow user to control how text and visual elements will let out and display. So these markup languages like HTML, what they mentioned there, XML and XHTML. So these markup languages user helps the user to display the text if we want to how they want to displaying the text and then how they are visually. So the major advantage of web application development is, so if you don't have the knowledge of computer software, how they are coded, if you don't have the knowledge also, you can interact with the system, right? So if you want to open any browser, okay, you can now you can easily open the websites, right? So just you are typing some keywords, that's it. For example, if you want to search like if you want to search related to some books, if you want to search, or if you want to search the informations regarding this coronavirus, what you are going to do? So you are just open your mobile and just open any browser, any one browser you can, you will open, and then you type something, corona, today's corona number of cases, okay, you enter, then you get the information, then you get the information through websites. So you don't know how that websites are designed, how that informations are coming, you don't know, but that informations are displayed graphically. That informations, if you want to display to the to the users, so for that we need this HTML markup languages, so that allows the user to control how the text and visual elements will lead out and display. Okay, so and then at its simplest, markup is a way of indicate the information about the content. Okay, I already told about the content information it was showing, that is distinct from the content. This information about the content in HTML is implemented via tags. I already told that information visually what we are displaying in your browsers, through in your websites, if you open any websites, that informations about the content, so that will be implemented through tags. So this one is the structure of tag that we discussed in next slides. Okay, so in addition to specifying information about the content, many markup languages are able to encode information how to display the content for the end user. So in addition to the information about the content, what you are going to display, that information, along with that, they are going to encode the information. Encode in the sense, so I already told in V2 website we have two versions, one is Kannada version and English version. So here, if you want to switch from English to Kannada, so here there they use the encoded code. So that encoding is a unique code. Okay, I already told in your previous classes. So unique code, if you want to, you can convert from one language to another language. For each language in computer, they generated in our ID structure, they generated unique codes. That one is universally recognized unique codes. So based on that unique code, you can convert from English to Kannada, English to Tamil, English to Telugu. So they have the different unique codes. Unique codes means in all the languages for that word same meaning. For example, for A, so in Kannada, for A, they have some unique code, means binary code they generated. So for that binary code and this English will get matched. So by using that one, you can encode from one language to another language, and then that we can display that information in their own language. So you can also go to Google, and then in Google you already search, I think, Google Translator. In Translator you can convert one language to another languages. Okay, so that one is also working in by using Unicode concept. Okay, so in addition to information about the content, providing only information, along with that it will encode the information. So next we discussed about the brief history about that HTML. Actually this HTML was introduced by Tim Berners-Lee. So Tim Berners-Lee we introduced this XHTML. So before introducing this HTML, so they have we have XML and as well as XHTML. So next we see what is this XHTML and HTXML. Okay, so first XHTML. So these tag structures, what I told, tag structures, and then how to write a tag. So what's the meaning of that tag will be defined by one group of people. That group of people we called as W3C. W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. World Wide Web Consortium. So W3 means three W's. World Wide Web Consortium created a new specification. Actually, this HTML also introduced by this W3C, also maintained by W3C. So these W3C peoples will created a new specification called XHTML. XHTML version 1. So what is this XHTML? In the sense, this one is the this was the version of HTML that is used stricter XML. Stricter XML. XML means extensible markup language syntax rules. So this XML is also a new thing to you, I think. Why? Because XML you don't know. In XML, actually you have this XML in your fifth module. So XML is also tag representation of data. So if you are doing projects on Android, many projects, anybody, if you did the projects on Android, in Android we write the codes in tag format only. Actually, in Android, mainly we written the codes for inserting buttons, or if you want to insert any panel or structuring. For structuring, we are using XML code only. Okay, so here also, what is this XML? In the sense, this one is the basic version of XML. Basic for all markup languages, XML is the main basic thing. So XML means extensible markup language. So this extensible markup language will provide the basic root to the tag construction. So here in XML, what happens in the sense, first we have to write one root element. Okay, so root element means why that extensible markup language, in the sense, in XML you can create your own tags, but in HTML not like that. In HTML we can use already existing tag. You can't create the new tags. Okay, in XML you can create new tags, but we follow the syntax. What that syntax is, first you have to create a root element. Actually, we have one lab program, fifth lab program. In that you can understand so the structure of XML. Okay, first root element you have to declare. Okay, root tag. Below that root you have to create a child tags, just like a family relation. So first root and then child and then subchild, like that you need to create a tags. Means what's the difference between your HTML and XML is, in HTML we can use only the already existing and then W3C referred tags only, but in XML you can create your own tags. So this XHTML 1.0 version, so it uses the syntax rules of this XML syntax strict rules. Actually, this XHTML was introduced to handle the sloppy HTML, missing or malformed tags or other syntax error. So this XHTML actually introduced to find out the errors or find out the mistakes done by the developer. Okay, so the goal of HTML with its strict rules was make page render more predictable by forcing web authors to create a web page without syntax error. Means the main goal of this HTML is the developer needs to create a code or needs to create a web page without making any mistake. Okay, that's it rules. If you made any mistake, your code will not get executed. Okay, here also it will show some syntax error. Okay, that I will show you while we are working with practicals. I will show you in JavaScript. It will show errors. Okay, so that one is the XHTML strict. Okay, actually for showing the or to find out the syntax errors. To help the web authors, so two version of HTML was introduced. So the first version is XHTML 1.0 strict, and second version is XHTML 1.0 transitional. These two versions are introduced. In XHTML 1.0 strict, so you have to follow the syntax. If you make any mistake in syntax, your code will not execute. It means your web page will not get opened. But in XHTML 1.0 transactional, so here they will give some relaxation. Relaxation means they will give some forgiving options. So if you made some mistakes, okay, it will give some just warning, and then it will get executed. So these are the two versions where we mentioned this one in the sense before writing your code. Okay, for that one syntax is there, that syntax you need to mention, that you need to add to your code. If you add, so and then while your code will get executing, if you are using strict, then it will check the entire code. If there is any mistake in syntax or if you missed something, okay, so there it will not give permission to execute your code. But in transactional it will give some warning, and then it helps to execute your code. So which one you want, you can choose. So but now we are not using this version. This was all the history. Okay, first when 1995, after 1995, so after internet was introduced, and then they start working creating web pages. During the time these all the things will happen. So next, during 2000s, the focus on professional web development community was on standard, that is limiting oneself to the W3C specifications for XHTML. So till 2000, so they are using this strict and transitional rules. So but in during 2000, so they try to create professional web page and web development by creating some standards. So the key part of standard movement of web development community is after 2000 was use of HTML validators. So instead of HTML straight loads and all, so they try to use HTML validators. So through online, you can validate your code. So as means verifying that web page markup followed by the rules of HTML standard transactional are strict. So this HTML validator is mainly used for verifying the web page markup, that web pages coded what you coded, that are following the strict rules or transactional rules. So that will be made by the HTML validators. That improvement happens in 2000s. In the mid of 2000, that the W3C presented a draft of XHTML 2.0 specification. Okay, so it proposed a revolutionary and substantial change of HTML. So into mid of 2000s, so they introduced XHTML 2.0 specification. So in that they made some revolutionary actions, means they give some relaxation, and they are going to update the things, means which are all the failures will be they observed, or which are all the drawbacks they observed in HTML 1.0, they overcome. So the most important backward compatibility with HTML and XHTML was dropped. So backward compatibility is nothing but if you want to update from one version to another version. For example, if you want to update from XHTML 1.0 to 2.0, so that XHTML 1.0 rules followed web pages will get updated into XHTML 2.0, means the browser also needs to update it. That backward compatibility will be dropped. Okay, browser would become significantly less forgiving, and invalid markup, means they have made some significant forgiving options in XHTML 2.0 version. In the XHTML 2.0 specification also adopt familiar tags such as image tags such as img, anchor tag, br means line breaker, next we discussed. So and numbered heading such as h1. So these are all dropped in XHTML 2.0 specification, means. So for these tags, which are all the rules are there, means if you made some simple mistakes in these tags, that will be relaxed in this XHTML 2.0 version. If you made some mistakes in this type of tags, so then it will allow to execute in the browsers. That backward compatibility was introduced in XHTML 2.0 version. So development on the XHTML 2.0 specification dragged on for many years, means this development will be made for so many years. Okay, so these are the below what we are seeing here. These are the XML based syntax rules. So if you want to create any tag, so these are all the syntax rules, XML based syntax rules. So XHTML are pretty easy to follow. The main rules are, first one is there must be a single root element. Already told in XML, first we have mainly root element. So next we discussed in later chapters, later concepts. Okay, element names are composed of any of the valid characters. Most punctuation symbols and spaces are not allowed, means in your inside your tag. Okay, your elements that we discuss next concept. So that elements name should be, means if you want to create any element is nothing but how the data will get represented. That name should be start with character, okay, valid characters. Okay, it should not be a symbol or space, just like your variables, how you created variable rules, that same thing. Okay, single root element and then it's a valid character. Element name cannot be start with a number. The same variable rule. Elements and attribute names are case sensitive. Yes, case sensitive means opening tag and closing tag both are case sensitive. Okay, you can't change the meaning. Okay, h1 in the sense you are treated as h1 only. Okay, yeah, that one is capital letter. If it is capital letter, then you are treated in capital letter. But recommended for best practice, they recommended that you have to write HTML tags in lowercase letters. Attributes must always be written within a quotes. So next we discussed what is that attributes and elements. Okay, these are the rules. XML. All elements must have closing elements. These are all the XML based rules. But now we are not following these rules. So now we are using HTML5. Don't worry about these rules. But for your examination purpose, so you have to read this one. Okay, so next when we start coding, then you know the difference, why we follow this one, why we are not following this one now. Okay, okay, this one is the XML W3C markup validator. Okay, validator, this one is used for validating the things. Here you can enter your address URL, so then it will validate and then give the results. Okay, so next, now we are using HTML5. So this HTML5 is the current version. So what we are using for coding. So HTML5, this one is introduced by a group of developer of Opera. Okay, your Opera browser and Mozilla Firefox formed a WG group, Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group. Okay, so this group within the W3C, so that worldwide consortium is there, right? So that before this HTML5 version, which are all the versions of HTML 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your XML and XHTML 1.0, 2.0, all those things will be maintained by W3C only. So now the one group is created within the W3C, that is WATWG, Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group. So they introduced HTML5. This working group WTG HTML, in this HTML5 version, they removed all the restrictions. So what they mentioned in these rules, so they removed all those things. If you made mistake something here, so then it will accept and then it will get executed. So YWG group was focused less on semantic, means syntax purity, more on web and actually existed. So here they are not restrict the syntax, so they are concentrated only on what actual thing they are going to represent. So the YWD character announced the Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group therefore intends to address the need of one coherent development environment for web application, though the creation of technological specifications that are intended to implement and mass market web browser. So their main intention is they need to enhance the need of web applications. So instead of we are restricted to or restricted to some of the conditions, because of those conditions we can't market it that web applications. So they need to follow some syntax. If they follow, that code will not get executed, and then backward compatible problem. All those things they are dropped, and then they try to promote this publication in the mass market in web browsers. Okay, so the W3C is stopped work on XHTML 2.0 and instead adopted the work done by the WG and named it as HTML5. So actually they are keep on working on XHTML 2.0 version. So they dropped this concept, this version, what they are going to try to implement. So they stopped this working. Instead of that one, they select or they instead of that one they get the permission, or they are concentrate on what that YWG group people they uh, developed that one, and then they get the instructions from here. Okay, so and then they name this one as HTML5. So that there are three main aims of HTML5. The main aims are specify unambiguously how browser should deal with the invalid markup language. So here they mentioned how that here they attached the how that markup language, invalid markup language means if you made any syntax errors or any other invalid code, invalid script if you written, how they are going to deal with that one. So that was the main name. Okay, and then provide an open non-proprietary programming framework way of JavaScript means here they are providing, uh, they are starting attaching the programming languages to the scripting language. Okay, they are trying to merge that programming language in scripting languages. For that reason, they introduce or develop a JavaScript for creating rich web application. For creating a rich web application, they create one framework, programming framework, non-proprietary programming framework. Okay, means they are going to try to attach or giving a programming touch to the scripting languages. For that reason, they introduce JavaScript. Be backwards compatibility with the existing web. So whatever that they developed new thing, so that will support in all the browsers that backward compatibility they need to adapt to that entire browser what their code they are written, so that code will get executed in the all the browser. If it is a previous older version, newer version, any version, so that will get executed. So these are the three main aims of HTML5. So by late 2014 and less stable parts of HTML moved to HTML 5.1 version. So now after that 2014, so now they are enhanced that version HTML5 to HTML 5.1. So this one is the history of your HTML5 and XHTML and HTML. So in next video we start with the HTML syntax. Okay, I hope you all understand that concept what I explained. So if you get any error, okay, if you get any, sorry, not error, okay, so now I am doing programming, right? That's why my mind errors world will come. Okay, if you get any doubts, so please send me a message, or we can discuss that one by conducting one Zoom meeting. Thank you for watching. So meet in next video.